Hello and welcome to Season 2 of DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya Challenge for Zero. 16 teams of innovators from around the country. But only one team can get to that grand prize. And what's that grand prize? I'm not talking about the 10 lakh rupee gift check. I'm not even talking about that all expense paid trip to the DuPont headquarters in the United States. I'm talking about the ability to change the destiny of the times we live in, of this fabulous country we live in. And who will decide who's that top team out of the 16 teams that are going to wow us with their innovation? Well, it's going to be our three judges, our esteemed panel of judges. Our first judge is the Regional Technology Director, Asia Pacific of DuPont, Dr. Homi Bidwar. Homi, how are you?
I'm very well.
We also have the CMD of Karma Venture Services, Ms. Nandini Vedinathan. Nandini, how are you?
Good.
Looking forward to our two teams today?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Nandini. Thank you for being here. And of course, we have the founder and CEO of Milagro Business and Knowledge Solutions, Mr. Rajiv Karwal. Hi, Rajiv. Welcome back.
Hi, Gaurav. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Let's call our first team forward. Our first team is comprising Shirojit Das from IIT Guwahati and Gautam Malhotra from ISB Mohali. Please welcome them. Shirojit, Gautam, hello, welcome to the show. How are you guys feeling?
Great, awesome.
Good, confident?
Yes.
I like it when people of science use words like awesome, isn't it, Homi? It's not just in the lab, it's outside as well.
Yeah, but they're, I think we said geek gods, right?
Geek gods.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Geek gods.
See, Homi likes that term, right? Because it's one that applies to him as well. And why would it not? Well, we have the two of you here. Of course, you're going to talk about your innovation. But before you do that, let's show all of you at home and our judges what we're talking about.
Every year around the world, there are millions of people who are suffering from damage or loss of tissues, organs due to certain accidents, injuries, and diseases. There was an incident in 2011 that my father, he had a disease, and there was talks that we may have to replace his urinary bladder. Fortunately, he did not require it. By God's grace, he got saved. So that is what made me go into tissue engineering. Now what we thought that instead of finding a graft which would replace a damaged tissue, why not find something which would repair that damaged tissue in that spot? Because then you'll have the body's native tissue itself and its part. India is the second largest producer of silk in the world. Now we get the silkworm cocoons from the farms, we extract it through a certain extraction process, and we add no additives to it, no synthetic product is added to it, no external stimulus is involved for making or synthesizing the hydrogel, which is a very plus point for this product. Now the silk hydrogel, it can be easily injected through a syringe, and that will form a matrix in that damage. When it will get inside the body, it will form a matrix in that damage, and as time will pass, the body's native cell will adhere to that matrix and replace that damage with the body's native tissue. The conventional method of solving this problem or damage would be doing an open surgery. Now this will cost high amount of pain because surgery is involved, high cost will be involved, and there's an artificial thing implanted in your body. The silk hydrogel, it aims at saving lives, it aims at healing, it aims at easing pain from the lives of people, and by the results what we have got, it will deliver to the promises which it has made. We'll get a product which would be effective, it would be affordable, and it would be easy to administer. So this is our Shun question.
Gautam, you are going to give us the business pitch of this idea. I'm going to give you 90 seconds to impress our judges with the math and the commercials of all of it in your plans. And then, of course, they will quiz you. Did I say quiz you? They will grill you. So if you're ready, don't be nervous. I'm just kidding. Look at them. They're so sweet. 90 seconds. Gautam, your time starts now.
Every year, 20% of the adult population suffers from one form or the other of degenerative disease. We're talking about a 20% population. And in a developing country like India, where to get basic healthcare is a big challenge. So if we can come up with a solution which can cause an impact which is effective both in terms of cost as well as in terms of feasibility. Our innovation, this injectable hydrogel, is this particular innovation. So what our business plan is that since we are going to be marketing to B2, we are primarily going to market to business companies. So large pharmaceutical companies who source a lot of their production, outsource a lot of their production, we will be tying up with them and manufacturing this silk hydrogel for them. Now what is it in it for them? We would help them reduce their cost by 100%, and this, we've got the numbers for this and we've gone through the numbers. Primarily because silk is less than 1/100 the cost of collagen, which is the substitute product. Secondly, why would the companies, because this will be a technology innovation. Whichever company is the first to introduce this has the potential to be the market leader for years to come on. I'm not talking about 5 years, but 10, 15 years from now as well. So how do we do that? Is that primarily once we've made the pitches to these companies, we will be using a personal selling mechanism through which these companies will then be tying up with us to manufacture these, and we will be providing a contractual manufacturing cost.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Gautam. When you said collagen for a second, I thought you were looking at me. I got really worried. Well, Homi, I know you want to jump in with your science questions, and I can feel that you have a few, so I'm going to let you take the floor.
Yeah, I do. What makes you unique? Because the challenge has been that once you inject the hydrogel, the time it takes to gel within the body is usually quite long. And so what is it that makes you feel that you've got something good here?
Okay.
He's looking very smug there.
He's looking smart.
Very smug.
I wonder.
And you're like, dude, what kind of a question is that?
Yeah, so I mean, he's either got it figured out or, yeah.
Okay. First of all, the ease of fabrication. Now, whatever hydrogels which are in research or in the market, they require rigorous processes, like they require solvents, they require external stimulus like ultrasonication and vortexing for the fabrication. In our case, it is just a simple two-component system. You just mix it and you inject it. As you said that there's a problem regarding the gelation time. So we have simulated the body conditions in the lab. We have used the simulated body fluid and we have injected the solution and it gelled instantaneously. Plus, we can manipulate the system very easily. We have the two systems. We have two different silk solutions. We can change the concentration of the silk solution and we can have gels which will gel in a time frame of 3 minutes to 15 minutes. Thirdly is the incorporation of RGD sequences. Now this hydrogel has non-mulberry silk in that. Now non-mulberry silk naturally has RGD sequences. To put it in simple words, RGD sequences are cell attachment sites. Now these are naturally present in them. So when inside the body, they'll provide a naturally favorable conditions for the body cell to attach and proliferate.
At what point are you going to say there is a bigger scope for this than just this? Have you thought about that? In other words, I'm asking about your innovation pipeline.
We have a complete market strategy for the next 15 years. Not only the conventional hydrogel use, that is tissue engineering and drug delivery. We will not restrict ourselves to that. Okay. We are also in the process of going into the field of protein and nucleic acid purification for single cell monitoring and also for fabricating.
No, don't go on the technical side. From a customer perspective, what problem are you fixing?
Right now,
not right now. 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 15 years from now. What are the typical problems you would fix?
But I like him to go into the technical side. I wanted to hear that too, you know. So,
okay, go on.
No, but go answer a question.
The critical need that we are going to obviously fulfill is in the healthcare sector. So the problem that we would face going forward would obviously be the very similar innovations. Like Sir said, there's a lot of work going in the field. If somebody beats us to that.
Specific answer, sweetheart.
We are providing such a good solution to them, they'll mob us wherever we go.
Oh, yeah. Oh. And I've got a bridge to sell you too, right?
Boys, 23, we're confident, huh?
Yeah.
From here to commercialization, what are the regulatory hurdles you see in India and abroad?
Okay. First of all, whenever we are manufacturing a product for the field of tissue engineering, it has to go through 4 steps. First is the physical characterization, we are through with it. Second is the in vitro, that is the lab testing, we are through with it.
Have you got recognizable tests which are done?
So
Certification which is recognized all across the globe or in India?
So for that we have to, after the animal testing, we have to send it for human trials or the clinical trials. So we are
So
still
how
in
much time from here till that?
It's at least 3 to 5 years.
Excellent. Homie did call him smug. So at the end of this, is he smug like a bug in a rug, or was it all humbug? I'm going to let our judges decide that. They're going to be marking them now. There's 5 parameters on which our judges are going to be marking them: disruption, relevance, reach and commercial viability, the use of science, and the most important for us, the Shunya proposition. So, judges, please go ahead. Okay, well, our judges have deliberated. So, judges, if you could please tell us your scores.
There's a little sadness when I'm marking you. You seem good in most things, but your reach and commercial viability at this point in time is extremely low. So effectively that brought down your Shunya quotient and brought down your marks.
So, out of 100, what do they have?
So I've given 68.
68 on 100? Okay. Homie?
I have 68 as well. The areas that scored high were potential disruption. You could do something if you go through that pipeline of yours and do the things that you talked about. The lower parts were reach and commercial viability.
I've given you 64 out of 100, and overall you have got the highest in science from me, but if you would have shown more knowledge of the patentability and also the regulatory process, probably you could have got much higher marks from me.
Excellent. Well, thank you, judges. Let's give them a round of applause. They've scored 200 out of 300, so we're going to put them up on the leaderboard. Of course, they're just one of our 2 teams that are going to be coming out and presenting today. So what we'll do is we'll take a short little break right now. We'll get the second team out and hear what their idea is. Stay tuned to DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, Challenge for Zero. Welcome back. You're watching Season 2 of DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, Challenge for Zero. We have 2 teams here today. Before the break, we heard the innovation and the idea of the first team. They got 200 out of a possible 300 points from our judges. So we've put that up on our leaderboard. Let's see if our second team can beat them and walk away as this episode's winners. Yes, because there's a lot up for grabs. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. But first, let's welcome our second team here. We have from the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, Prakash Kodali, and another contestant from the Indian School of Business, Mohali, Shushant Boda. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good.
Feeling good?
Very good.
We want to hear about your innovation, of course, but before that, let's have a listen to what you guys have been up to.
This innovation name is Integrated Circuit Based Flexible Devices and Flexible Displays. Here we are not using the lead to solder the components, off-shell components. We are using screen printing and mounting the components there. There we can improve the lifetime of LED and it won't harm any patient using this device. These strips we kept some LED devices. These are below the infrared range, and it can generate 750 nanometer wavelength. That's whenever you place this device on a surface of the body, the light can penetrate through the skin to certain level. It's about 4 mm or 2 mm level, and it is going to generate little bit of heat for the tissues or blood circulation very nicely, and there it's going to heal the whatever problem we have in that particular area. Present technology, whatever they are using in hospitals, it was consuming 100 watts of power. I'm trying to make SMD LEDs which can consume very low power, 10 watt or 5 watt. This is low cost device. Everybody can afford the price of it and use this device.
Well, Prakash, we see your product in front of us here right now.
Yes.
My scientific question to you is, after seeing that video, how long did it take you to grow that mustache?
1 week.
1 week. That's a very good answer. Give him a round of applause. Shashank, we're going to give you 90 seconds. We've seen the technology, we've seen the innovation. You're going to try and impress our judges with the numbers behind it and where you see it going and where you can take it. So if you're ready, your 90 seconds start now.
So we see that this product can actually have several uses. They can be right from your biomedical applications to your flexible displays to having something like an electronic jacket. And that changes the entire experience of what an electronic means to us. For this project, we wanted to concentrate on flexible displays, which is a growing area in India. It's somewhere around 700 crores right now. Marketeers are relying more and more on digital displays to effectively communicate with their customers. But some of the challenges of this industry are the cost which is involved, the maintenance, and the power consumption. Our product precisely answers these issues in the market. We have a simple process. We use very cheap raw materials, and then we can actually come up with this electronic at somewhere around 1500 per square feet. So in a shop where you would want to have a size 5 by 2 square foot billboard of somewhere around would cost us 15,000, while in the market you will be getting it somewhere around 22,000, which is very cost effective for the people. And the kind of customers we are going to target would be out-of-home advertising companies. We would want to have a direct selling team or B2B selling team which would actually go and sell the products to them. And we can also have displays available in the market so that we can actually show the value of this. At the same time, we would also invest some resources in trying to actually develop a lot of biomedical applications, and we expect to have a break-even in 2 years.
Wow, you're done with 15 seconds to spare. Well done. He was talking at the speed of light, wasn't he? He really was. Well, I know that Nandini and Rajiv both have some numbers questions for sure. But Homi, first the science aspect of it, I'm going to let you quiz Prakash on that. So why don't you?
So Prakash, the innovation, the invention appears to be that you are encapsulating various printed circuits and LEDs in a medium. So somehow it doesn't particularly excite me that you're what is the encapsulating medium that you're using?
PDMS.
PDMS,
Yes.
right? For just an encapsulation, it seems like, you know, an overkill or really not particularly interesting. I think you should be thinking about other opportunities for this kind of innovation rather than just encapsulating LEDs.
If Philips decides to come into this area and their costs are much lower, they have many more patents, how are you going to compete? You know, and we are judging it from the point of view of scalability,
Yes.
your competitive advantage or your patentability, whatever, entry barriers for others.
Yes. Actually, whatever existed things are there, they used to have a 1000 class level lab facilities where it needs to be having processing the materials to get into that product level. Here, I thought of making the same thing before starting this, but as I feel that it is very cost effective and lab facilities need to be having to make these things. That's why, to avoid those all hi-fi techniques and class 1000 level lab facilities, I'm trying to use off-shell components where these are going to be done in a room temperature level itself. In an ambient ambience itself, we can fabricate these things, and this is going to be more effective. And they are using FR4 substrates, and using FR4 substrate, they used to have soldering the materials. By doing soldering, the lifetime of the material will components will come down. To avoid that, I am trying to use some screen printing of the blend, and over that I'll place the components and I'll get the device.
On the market segmentation, this is a question for both of you. Have you thought of a clear-cut value proposition for the media business and a similar one for the healthcare business? Give me one sentence each for both. What is your value proposition?
So the value proposition for the displays would be low cost, low initial cost, and longer life, while for medical devices it's going to be more efficiency and easier to use.
But your product is B2B.
For media, it's B2B.
For healthcare, an individual can go and buy it?
It's going to be B2C.
It is entirely B2C?
To a large extent. So we would want to target the end customers or the patients. At the same time, we also believe that a lot of influencing would lie in the power of doctors and the key opinion leaders. So we would also want to work with them, show them how effective the product is, and then pitch the product to them.
So what's your customer acquisition strategy in the healthcare space?
So in the customer acquisition strategy in the healthcare would be to actually participate or have some kind of a conference for all the doctors, get them together, or the orthopedics, show them how effective this product is, and then we would also want to eventually work with them with some kind of a detailing or direct selling for the doctors who would actually prescribe the product, and then we would have this in the pharmacy.
I'm really not seeing a very strong science component here at all. You know, you've taken LEDs, you're encapsulating them in a medium. It's a flexible medium, so okay, fine. But there's stuff like this out in the marketplace. There are things that are going to be, people like you are going to come back and make it even less expensive, more inexpensive. So, you know, those things are going to keep happening. And so I don't see that real, what is that component, what is that uniqueness that you are bringing?
Actually, still now nobody has done without soldering part. Whatever is there in market, it is having soldering. It's like degrading the lifetime of the components. I'm trying to avoid the to increase the lifetime of the components, and as well as giving the 2D dimensional curvature. The existing technology, it is having 1D dimensional. It's like we can flex it in one direction. Here I'm making this way, and X and Y direction I can make it flexible.
Well, that was the presentation of our team, Prakash and Shushant, talking about flexible electronics. I'm going to let the judges mark them now. I don't know how much they're going to score, but I can guarantee you one thing, they're not going to be too flexible. They never are. Judges, over to you. Okay, our judges have finished giving their marks. Now, before you do that, let me quickly remind our viewers that our first team today got 200 out of 300, which means they're on our leaderboard. That's right, they are. We still have a 204, which means for you guys to stay relevant, because we need the top 2 on the leaderboard at the end of all 16 teams, you need to get more than 200. Judges, if you could please tell us their marks now.
Disruption average, I didn't think there was anything earth-shattering there, so I've given you 3. Relevance and reach and commercial viability, I think is fairly good. But I think where you lost out is in use of science. I've given you just 2. All of this, therefore, has brought down your Shunya quotient to average, which is a pity, really. So I've given you only 64.
64 out of 100. Okay, not bad.
Yeah.
Romy, would you like to go?
So yeah, as I said, I thought, you know, there were aspects that were good, but my score is 40 out of 100.
40 out of 100. So which means to stay relevant, they need 96 to tie. And anything more than that, we know from Rajiv, even 56 is tough to come by. This is 96. I'd be worried if I was you, but Rajiv, go ahead.
See, they've got quite low from me on disruption and Shunya quotient. You've only got 2. And rest, it's all average at 3. So it totals to 52 out of 100.
You may not have got those many points, but you've got some interesting points from the judges. We'd like you to take those, and of course, our applause for a great effort. That means that our winners for this episode are our first team with 200 points. So please, let's call them out. And Nandini, if you could please come here and give away their tablets as their prizes for winning today's episode. So come on out. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So Surajit and Gautam are our winners for today. So if you could just let me hand them over the tablets. So here are our winners for today's episode. They won today, but they'd be a little worried because they're number 2 on the leaderboard right now. We've got so many other teams, so many other products, so many other innovations to go through on this show. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back soon with another episode of DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, Challenge for Zero. Thanks for watching.